The following program is a color feature presentation of the HSN television network. The setting is Yankee Stadium, home of the New York Football Giants. The Giants' opponent today is the Dallas Cowboys. Led by head coach Tom Landry, the Cowboys have been known as an explosive football machine with a star-studded roster. But recently, the Cowboys' machine has become clogged. Though they are tied for the lead in the NFC's Eastern Division, Dallas has been unable to assert their usual superiority, and for the past few weeks has been inconsistent on offense. Neither quarterback Craig Morton nor Roger Staubach has been impressive, and their ground game, though number one statistically, has not controlled games as it has done in the past. In fact, it has been their perennially strong defense that has kept the Cowboys from losing more than 2 games they have lost till now, and even they have not looked particularly invincible. The Giants are another story completely, and head coach Alex Webster has the Big Apple aflutter. After losing his first 3 games, Webster and the Giants have won 4 straight and have looked good doing it. The new-look Giants bear no resemblance to a conservative Wall Street brokerage firm. They are a mad, mod, contemporary team with a gambling style of play. The big difference has been their ground attack and their defense. Though 6th in the league, the defense has come up with the big plays with an aggressive pursuing attitude reminiscent of the Huff Robustelli era. So Fran Tarkenton and the Giants prepared to do battle with the Cowboys, a team they have beaten only once in the last 9 games, while Giant fans continued to follow the slight scent of a title for the first time in years. I'm Jack Whitaker, and this is the NFL Game of the Week, the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. The NFL Game of the Week is brought to you by Dodge, extra care in engineering. Yankee Stadium eagerly awaited the opening kickoff, but the Giants would not please their fans in the first few moments of the game. Tarkenton's strategy was to open with his running game, but this strategy failed miserably. After Ron Johnson was stopped, Tucker Fredrickson went into the line, fumbled, and safety Charlie Waters recovered. On a replay of the fumble, keep a close eye on Fredrickson, number 24, as he fumbles and then trips up Waters in desperation, perhaps saving a long run back of the fumble. With a big break early, Craig Morton decided to probe rather than go for the quick strike. So he ran his number 1 running tandem right at the Giants and got nothing. First, number 33, rookie sensation Dwayne Thomas. Then Calvin Hill, number 35, tried to move it, but managed 4 yards between them. On 3rd and 6, Morton went for the sidelines and came up empty, as rookie Ken Parker from Fordham almost went coast to coast. The Giants' defense had held and came away down 3-0 on Mike Clark's field goal. On his second series, Tarkenton decided to mix his plays, and he utilized the short pass to Clifton McNeil, number 18, to complement the running of Ron Johnson and Tucker Fredrickson. Coach Webster's strategy was to run right at the Cowboys' front 4 with draws and quick traps up the middle in hopes of negating a strong rush by the quick and overly aggressive Dallas front 4. The strategy worked well on this drive. On this play, it was the block by center Greg Larson on number 75, Jethro Pugh, that gave Fredrickson the time to pop through the hole and down to the Cowboys' 30. On 3rd and 9, however, the Giants caught their second bad break. Tarkenton scrambled and hit McNeil at the 18. But Fran had been over the line of scrimmage when he threw. This cost him 5 yards and the down to boot. So Pete Gogolak came in and hit a 40-yarder to tie the score at 3. Cowboys' second series would be less than successful as the Giants' defense again denied them any yardage and forced them to give up the ball. Giant fans were more than pleased to see this rebirth of defense at the stadium. But late in the quarter, Dallas mounted a drive. Watch number 33, Dwayne Thomas, as he takes Morton's pass and gets the Cowboys' first down of the game. Thomas has been the surprise of the year for Dallas, and he and Hill give the Cowboys a potent backfield. 1st and 10 again on the Giants' 38. Having set up the defense, Morton now went for it all and got it. Bob Hayes had Parker beat, and the Cowboys were back in front. On a repeat of the score, Morton sent both backs out, and his protection was the key. It held up well, and he easily found Hayes, who made a nice knee-high grab. The Cowboys had restored their big play offense to regain the lead 10-3 as the first quarter ended. We'll be right back with more exciting action on the NFL Game of the Week. The second quarter was to see more of the resurgent Giant defense assert itself, as they would hold Dallas to 1 first down. The Giant offense, too, is in a renaissance, and Francis Tarkenton is the man leading New York out of the dark ages. A scrambler cannot a winner make, one of the many shibboleths Tarkenton has disregarded on the way to his greatest of 10 seasons. On this drive, a scramble and 2 tosses to McNeil brought up a 3rd and inches on the Cowboys' 35. Here, Fran gambled and lost as Joe Morrison couldn't hold on to Tarkenton's perfectly accurate pass. Morrison knew it and tried to hide, but couldn't. So Gogolak's strong right leg put the ball through from 42, and it was now 10-6. The momentum of the game then took a sudden turn, and it was another big play from the Cowboys that did it. Morton again went for Hayes deep. Defender Willie Williams just nicked it. Hayes made the bobbling catch, and the world's second fastest human had given the Cowboys a 17-6 lead. Then came perhaps the key series of the game. On the ensuing kickoff, the Cowboys recovered Les Shy's fumble, and now it looked like Dallas would again be able to widen its 11-point lead. But a tenacious Giant defense dug in. On first down, they stopped Calvin Hill in a good play by linebackers Ralph Heck, number 55, and Jim Files, number 58, their outstanding rookie from Oklahoma. On the next 2 plays, Craig Morton's arm betrayed him. Morton was unimpressive so far today, and in fact, the touchdown bomb to Hayes was to be the Cowboys' only first down of the second quarter. The Giants' defense had held again, and Mike Clark missed a 32-yarder to add insult to injury. Momentum now seemed to swing back to New York as Tarkenton found Don Herman, number 85, and a great catch by Herman started another drive. Then it was Ron Johnson. In Johnson, Webster has the running attack New York has so sorely needed to complement Tarkenton's passes. But the Giants failed to get a first down around midfield as a Tarkenton scramble failed. So Gogolak came in and tried one from 55 yards. This one was short. It was still 17-6 with 2 minutes left in the half. Once again, the gutty Giants' defense was superb, and Dallas could get nothing on 3 straight downs. In fact, the Cowboys could muster only 1 first down rushing for the half, and aside from the 2 bombs to Hayes, Morton could muster but 4 net yards passing, as the Giants' front line of Kanicki, Lertzema, Shea, and Dreyer pressured and pounded him all day. A quick whistle saved an apparent fumble by Morton here, but Dallas had to punt anyway. So with 30 seconds left in the half, Tarkenton had time to get at least a field goal and began by hitting Johnson, who took it to the Cowboys' 47. 16 seconds to play. Tarkenton for Shy. Incomplete. 12 seconds. Tarkenton for McNeil. Incomplete. 8 seconds. Tarkenton for McNeil again. Incomplete. 4th down and 4 seconds. Gogolak tries from 54 yards. It's up and good. Though still behind 17-9, the Giants take momentum into the locker room, knowing that they have indeed outplayed the Cowboys everywhere but on the board.
Gogolak is ready to kick off. The Cowboys have Dwayne Thomas, number 33, and Mark Washington, number 46. Deep in the second half is underway. Washington, 9 yards deep. He almost had another one there.
I think Gogolak's been taking Geritol or something. He has really been bombing that ball.
His field goals, by the way, which have accounted for all of New York's scoring, 40 yards, 42 yards, and 54. He missed from 55. Dallas has scored on 2 bombs from Craig Morton to Bob Hayes, 38 and 80 yards, and a 28-yard field goal by Mike Clark. 1st and 10, Cowboys at the 20-yard line. Calvin Hill trying to get outside. Up to the 25. He was submarined by Spider Lockhart with Heck coming across.
And I'm sure that Tom Landry was working with his assistants and his players at halftime trying to generate his running game. We mentioned the Cowboys were number 1 in rushing in the National Conference, but they were having a tough time moving the ball on the ground in the first half, gaining only 30 yards. And their highlight of their first half were 2 touchdown passes to Bob Hayes. That was about it.
Dan Reeves has come into the ball game replacing Hill, who might have been shaken up on that play. Dwayne Thomas carrying to the 27. That'll set up a 3rd and 3 for the Cowboys. Again, Heck, number 55, into the stop, along with Jim Kanicki, number 73.
And you hate to have a man like Calvin Hill on the sidelines when you have a 3rd and 2.5 or a 3rd and a 3, as the situation is right now. But Calvin Hill is stretching his back. He looks to be okay. But he would be the man ordinarily who would get the call if Morton decides that he can run with this 3rd and 3.
Wenzel to the left side, Hayes to the right. He's got Reeves and Dwayne Thomas in back of him. Thomas going to be close for the first down right at the 30-yard line. Jerry Shea on the bottom of the pile, number 75 for the Giants. And this one will be watched closely.
Just going to be where they determined the momentum was, and as you see, coming up short by about a foot.
Ron Woodby will be forced to punt on 4th and 1. Giants with Bobby Duhan, number 28, and Spider Lockhart, number 43, deep. Nice high spiral. Fair catch. Duhan at the 26-yard line.
Fair catch by Duhan.
Let's check some scores for you.
Well, as you see, Cincinnati is 23 to Buffalo's 14. They're at halftime. Bowman has kicked another field goal, 13 yards. Pittsburgh leading the Jets 14-3. Philadelphia now out in front of Miami 17-0 at halftime.
Our score 17-9. Dallas leading New York 1st and 10 on its first possession of the second half at its 27-yard line. Ron Johnson straight up the middle across the 30 to the 32. Showing some real power. Boy, he can go inside or outside effectively.
St. Louis, who is tied with the Cowboys for the lead in the Eastern Division of the National Conference, out in front of Boston, 14-0. MacArthur Lane on a 25-yard run, MacArthur Lane on a 14-yard run, and Kansas City over Houston 7-3. They're in the first quarter. Those games, of course, starting a little later.
2nd and 4. New York at its 32-yard line. Don Herman wide to the right side. McNeil split a couple of yards to the left. That's Ron Johnson in motion. Fredrickson getting the call, and he runs into a stone wall. Bob Lilly, number 74, is there for the Dallas Cowboys, along with Larry Cole and several others. Well, what do you think that field goal did as far as the Giants are concerned? You think that could have given them a boost right there at the half?
Well, I'll tell you, it certainly gave Pete Gogolak a boost. Those things help, though, when you can get on that scoreboard right at the end of the half and you don't think you're going to, and I'm sure that most of the Giants didn't feel that Pete could reach it that far.
3rd down. New York needs 3 for the first down. The ball is at the Giant 34. See if there was a loose football. There was, and the Dallas Cowboys recovered at the 35-yard line. It looked like either Chuck Howley or Bob Lilly, number 74. Lilly it was who made the fumble recovery at the 35, and that type of thing has really hurt the Giants this afternoon.
It's twice now that Fredrickson has given up the football. In the first quarter, on a fumble, the Cowboys got a three-pointer, and they're very close to the three-point range right now.
Calvin Hill is back in the ball game. The pitch to Walt Garrison, who's also in there for the first time since being injured some 3 weeks ago. Garrison carries to the 29-yard line, a pickup of some 5 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Minnesota 13, the Washington Redskins 7. Cox has kicked another field goal for the Vikings from 17 yards out. Look at this, New Orleans over Detroit. They're in the second quarter, 3-0. Chicago 13, San Francisco 3.
2nd and 5. Nose of the football just inside the New York 30. Calvin Hill has the first down at the 24-yard line of the New York Giants. Last year's NFL Rookie of the Year. He was injured early in the Kansas City game 2 weeks ago in the first series, and last week picked up just 10 yards and 10 carries against the Eagles. So his production has gone down somewhat. Of course, they've been using Dwayne Thomas so much more since he's done well. 1st and 10. Dallas at the Giant 24 early in the third period. Garrison inside the 20. Moving to the 17-yard line. Garrison suffered a knee injury several weeks ago and doesn't seem to have slowed him.
Let's take a look at Garrison. He doesn't act as if anything is wrong with him. He takes a little hop step. Now watch him plant his foot, cut back, get away from Bob Lertzema, number 71. Get away from Jerry Shea. Finally, Lockhart drops Garrison on just about the 17-yard line of the Giants.
Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. Dallas from the New York 17. Ditka is in for Norman at tight end. Garrison to the 15. Hazeltine, number 64. 73 is Jim Kanicki. 58, Jim Files. That'll set up 3rd down and a long yard needed for the first down from the 15.
And now Pettis Norman has come back in, and Ditka, who went to the sidelines, has come back in replacing Rensel. We would assume for additional blocking strength, get the bigger men in.
There's Hayes in motion. Garrison thrown back at the line of scrimmage. I don't believe he made that first down. They needed a yard. He picked up maybe a half a yard at most. That'll be 4th down, and now the Cowboys will have to make a decision.
This is middle linebacker Jim Files. At the bottom of that pile Matt Hazeltine, 64, Fred Dreyer, 89, but Files was the man who was able to push Garrison back, and the field goal unit has come on for the Cowboys.
Mike Clark has hit from 28 yards, missed from 32. This attempt with Reeves holding will be from the 22-yard line. Virtually no angle at all. It's good. The Dallas Cowboys 20, the New York Giants 9. We'll be back with the Cowboys kickoff in just a moment. 7:23 left in the third period, so we're just about midway in the third quarter. That's Shy at the 8-yard line. He almost lost it to the 20, cracked at the 25 and to the 28-yard line. That thing just about slipped down and ran away from him.
Right now, the Dallas Cowboy receivers and the Giant, of course, punt catchers and kickoff returnees are looking right into the sun. They look directly into it, and it could be that maybe Shy had a problem with it. The Giants will have a little bit of that problem in the fourth quarter before the sun goes all the way down.
1st and 10, New York at the Giant 29. Tarkenton, screen to Fredrickson, to the 30, 35. Fredrickson running hard to the 39. That's good for 10 yards and should be just enough for the first down.
Good blocking out in front of this. You'll see a perfect screen develop. Let the pass rushers in a little bit and then wheel out. 63 is Van Horn. Greg Larson's 53, and watch Fredrickson cutting right behind them. Larson with a block to the inside. Van Horn with a block to the outside.
1st and 10, Giants at their 39-yard line. Tarkenton sending McNeil to the left side, Herman to the right. Johnson to the 43. Lilly, number 74. Dave Edwards, number 52, making the stop. Take up the 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Ron Knight has hit a 24-yard field goal for the Redskins. Minnesota now 13, Washington 10. It's quite a football game they have going.
Our score, Dallas 20, New York 9. 5:50 left to play in the third period. The New York Giants 2nd and 7 from their 43. Again, Johnson, 45, 50, 45, down to the 40 to the 38-yard line before Charlie Waters made the stop. Really put the move on Herb Adderley.
The draw play, and watch Johnson. He puts a move on one of the Cowboys. We'll try and pick him up as he breaks now to the outside. One of the Cowboy defensive backs comes up right here. Now look at this little shift there. I believe it was Herb Adderley, but you don't see many backs making moves like that.
So the Giants with a first down at the Dallas 38-yard line, and 63,000 fans come alive again at Yankee Stadium. That's Johnson inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. 12 yards, another New York first down.
Giants offensive line opening a big hole right in the middle. The cross block. Van Horn with a good block on 55. Leroy Jordan, and then Johnson breaks to the outside. Had Herman come across number 85 and got in front of that, Johnson possibly could have broken all the way.
Johnson now has 81 yards rushing and 13 carries. The Giants have a first down at the Dallas 26. Fredrickson to the 23. Lilly, number 74. Pugh, number 75, making the stop. It'll be 2nd and 7. It's going to be important, isn't it, Giff, for the Giants to put a touchdown up there. This getting behind it, adding on just 3 points a little bit at a time doesn't normally do it.
Well, as we were talking a moment ago during a commercial, 3 points just won't do it. You have got to get on the scoreboard, and they need it rather quickly.
New York at the Dallas 23. Stack high. Morrison in motion. Johnson looking for some place to go. He found the hole and moved it to the 15-yard line. That'll be close for another first down.
Ron Johnson again. He couldn't find the hole where it belonged, so he just picked up one on the inside. Now watch him cut right back. Leroy Jordan, 55, overruns it. And Johnson is able to cut back. and move very close to another first down.
And the measurement will indicate that it is a first down. New York at the 16 of Dallas and on the move late in the third period. According to our unofficial statistics, the Giants have 12 first downs and the Cowboys just have 5. Johnson sliding off Lilly. But Lilly hung on until the reinforcements arrived. Johnson still picked up 4 yards, perhaps 5 to the 11-yard line.
And the sledding is going to get a little tougher now as the Giants move closer to that goal line. The Cowboy defense, of course, will start to tighten. They'll start to move inside, and the defensive secondary will come up closer because they have the back of the end zone helping them, working for them. It'll be a little tougher to run here. I'm sure Tarkenton is aware of that.
Officials mark it at the 12. Again, Johnson carrying half the Dallas team to the 6-yard line, and he'll be close for another first down.
Johnson again the draw play. Jethro Pugh got to the inside, recovered. And there are those backs we were telling you about that are up closer. Leroy Jordan doing the principal job on Johnson as Johnson comes up about, well, make it a 3/4 of a yard short of the first down.
Third down, less than a yard for the first down. Dallas digging in. Giants at the 6.5-yard line. The fake to Johnson. Tarkenton hitting Fredrickson. He's got the first down at the 5.
I think Fredrickson probably is still a little hot about the 2 fumbles. And Cornell Green was right there.
Charlie Waters comes out, and Tom Stinsick, number 56, goes in to join the goal line unit. New York with a first down now at the 4-yard line. Johnson. He's down to the goal line. He's over.
Well, this is Ron Johnson's touchdown all the way. Here it is again. Second and third effort. He's hit by Howley, spins loose, and just does get into the end zone. And it's a different kind of football game now, Frank Weaver.
That makes it 20-15 with the extra point to come. Gogolak will try it. Shiner will hold. And fasten your safety belts. We're going to be in for quite a finish here. 1:40 left to play in the third period. Dallas 20, New York 16. We'll be back with the Giants kickoff in just a moment.
A repeat of the touchdown shows the excellent Giant blocking, and that Johnson was met solidly by number 54, Chuck Howley. Despite this, he got into the end zone. Everything was going New York's way now, and determined to keep it that way, they did the unexpected. Gogolak's onside kick was perfect. Rookie Joe Green made the recovery and streaked down the sideline. The ball had to be brought back to the point of recovery, for an onside kick cannot be advanced by the kicking team. But it didn't matter. The Giants had possession of the football. 2 out of 3 officials agreed.
Let's take a look at it again. The ball has to travel 10 yards. And the ruling is it is a free ball. You cannot advance it. That was the hassle. You cannot run this football. You can recover it. And, of course, this is for naught here. You cannot advance it. It's like recovering a lateral. It was exciting for 63,000 fans and upset a few Giants because they thought they'd been called for a penalty.
So the Giants take over, having recovered the onside kick, and have a first down at the Dallas 48, and this crowd is going mad. Fredrickson to the 45, collared by Chuck Howley, number 54. We pause 5 seconds for station identification. That's got to be one of the most perfectly executed onside kicks. It looked like the Cowboys were caught completely napping. They had no one near the ball.
Well, Pete Gogolak hasn't done anything wrong all day, and that was absolutely beautiful. It traveled the required 10 yards and then took a spin, almost like it hit a 9-iron, and popped right into the hands of Joe Green.
2nd and 6 from the Dallas 44. Johnson to the 40, to the 35. Cornell Green, number 34. Adderley, number 26.
Let's watch Ron Johnson with the isolated camera. He gets a great block from 61 Charlie Harper. Perhaps you'll see it. There it is. Harper burying Leroy Jordan. Johnson spinning back. Cornell Green's there, along with Charlie Waters, but another Ron Johnson first down.
The clock ticking away, the final seconds of the third quarter. There's the gun. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. Dallas 20, New York 16. Let's pause for a moment. Johnson to the 32 for a pickup of 3 yards. Johnson now has 112 yards rushing and 18 carries.
That was really well played by Leroy Jordan. And Leroy Jordan is down on the field, and he's been shaken up. There is the fine middle linebacker for the Cowboys. He met Johnson head on that last play, and he would be quite a loss. He calls the defensive signals. He's had an interesting year, injury-wise, as it's been right along, hasn't it, Frank?
Next Sunday, immediately preceding the NFL game in your area, see the 30-minute pregame program, the NFL Today. You'll see a preview of the day's games on CBS, a feature on one of the most exciting runners in the history of pro football, Buddy Young, and an unusual feature on what it takes to move a team for each week's game.
Talking about Leroy Jordan, he's hard to get out of that lineup because he played against the Minnesota Vikings with a knee injury where he could hardly walk before the game, and so you have to believe he's hurt when he comes out of a football game.
His replacement is Tom Stinsick, number 56. 2nd and 7. New York from the 32 of Dallas. Johnson, 30, 25, 20. Johnson to the 15-yard line, caught by Adderley. 1st and 10, New York.
Ron Johnson again, following a great block by Tucker Fredrickson. Watch 24 on Cornell Green. Johnson hitting the gap, and only a beautiful tackle by Herb Adderley saved a Giant touchdown. And I'm sure Tom Landry is looking on and wondering what has happened to his defensive unit. One thing the Cowboys have never been able to do is run on them.
Nose of the ball just inside the 15. 1st and 10, Giants. Johnson to the 13 to the 12-yard line. That is his 21st carry of the day. And he is over 130 yards now in rushing.
He had a game earlier in the season against Philadelphia where he gained over 140 yards. And he had an 80-yard touchdown run called back in that game.
Leroy Jordan is in there at middle linebacker for the Cowboys despite being shaken up a moment ago. Give Johnson 2 on that last play. Call it 2nd and 8. New York at the 13 of Dallas. Parkenden. Flag is thrown. He's to the 5 and torn down at the 3-yard line. A penalty marker was thrown on about the goal line.
2 flags are down. We'll wait for the official call. It could be offensive interference, or it could be defensive interference because the flags were downfield. Apparently was against the Cowboys. And most certainly will be declined as the Giants come up with a 1st and goal on the Cowboys' 3.5-yard line.
Stinsick again comes into the Cowboy lineup for the goal line stand. And McNeil comes out, and Aaron Thomas comes in at tight end to beef up the Giants blocking. spotted at the 1.5-yard line following the penalty against Dallas. Johnson. No gain that time. Stinson came across number 56, along with Jordan, number 55. If anything, a loss of a half yard on that play, back to the 2. It'll be 2nd and goal.
They're speculating, should the Giants get in, they will lead by 23-20. And the Cowboys will have that prevailing breeze behind them. Maybe we better not speculate.
Tarkenton chased by Renfro, and Mel Renfro up from the secondary lowered the boom on him back at the 13, coming on like a sprinter.
So Tarkenton trying to fool the defense with the play fake. He'll fake the ball right here to Ron Johnson. Now he's rolling to the right. He wants to go to Tucker Frederickson. And here comes Larry Cole. He was the man that put the pressure on Tarkenton, wouldn't let him throw the ball, and then Renfro was there to wipe him out. Now it's 3rd and 13. Giants bring out their other tight end and put Clifton McNeil back in. The obvious pass coming up.
11 minutes and 45 seconds left to play in the ball game. 3rd and goal for the Giants from the 13. Tarkenton again, this time hit by Lilly, number 74. And Tarkenton is dropped at the 22.
And a test of a good football team. The Giants had 1st and goal from the 3, and now the Giants have been moved all the way back to the 25. Cole again pressuring. Lilly breaking from his block in the middle, and he nails Tarkenton hard.
Well, after what Gogolak has done, this should be just a chip shot for him from the 29-yard line. He's hit from 40, 42, and 54. Shiner puts it down at the 29. And it is no good.
Too close.
Off to the left. There's a Cowboy bench and some kind of huddle going on over there. They may be gathered around. That's the defensive unit as the offense takes over at the 20-yard line. End around. Here's Hayes. Flag is thrown, and Hayes is going to be stopped behind the line at the 16 for a loss of 4.
And you almost have to speculate there's going to be some kind of offensive infraction. A ball thrown right at the line of scrimmage, either a clip or perhaps a holding call. We'll wait for the official call and then maybe take a look at that play again. The end around to Bob Hayes, and he came dangerously close to breaking.
Cowboys need a big play right now to kind of cool off the Giants' momentum. It's half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul, moves it back to the 8, holding.
Here it is now. There you see Pettis Norman grabbing at Ralph Heck. I'm sure that was the call.
It is 1st and 22 from the 8-yard line. Calvin Hill on the sweep. Gets to the 10, and he is shoved back hard. 55, Ralph Heck.
And he does some job, number 55, Ralph Heck. That's Garrison trying to block him. He gets rid of the block at 32, Garrison, and boom, he catches Calvin Hill, who likes to jump, right in midair.
Pick up of 4 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 18. The ball now at the Dallas 12-yard line.
On the 12.
Garrison on the draw out to the 20, up to the 25-yard line, and Garrison is just 5 yards away from the first down. It'll be 3rd and 5. As Dallas gives itself a little breathing space.
Let's take a look at Dreyer. He goes to the inside this time, and he's picked up by number 61, Blaine Nye. You have to control Dreyer on pass or run because he just pursues constantly.
3rd and 5 from the 25. Pettis Norman. Incompleted forward pass.
Well, the official was right on it. Lockhart didn't argue, so you have to assume it was trapped. Knowing Carl Lockhart, had he caught that ball, he would have let the official know about it.
That, of course, was a big play for the Dallas Cowboys as they tried to keep that drive going and try to cool off this great giant momentum which has been generated here in the second half. Whitby will punt on 4th and 5. Duhon and Lockhart are deep. Fair catch by Lockhart at the 35 of New York. And the Giants will put the ball in play from there. Well, this has been some exciting football game so far. 1st and 10, Dallas Cowboys from their 29-yard line. Garrison and Hill, the setbacks. Walt Garrison picking his hole. And moving out to the 36, Parker, number 26, was over there for the Giants, along with Lockhart, number 43, and Heck, number 55.
Cincinnati now running away from Buffalo, 33-14. Royce Berry on a 6-yard touchdown run, the last touchdown for Cincinnati.
Pickup of 7 by Garrison, 2nd and 3. Cowboys are at their 36. Garrison it is again, fighting for the first down, and he'll be close for it at the 39-yard line. Lockhart 43, Longo 44. These statistics are something else. We've got the Giants with 16 first downs and the Cowboys with 5.
Of course, the Cowboys leading 20-16, but you have to remember that Bob Hayes caught an 80-yard touchdown pass and a 38-yard touchdown pass. Those have been the big plays for Dallas. Those have been the plays, really, offensively.
And the measurement indicates the Dallas Cowboys have picked up a first down at the Dallas 39. We'll watch that clock closely for you as it becomes a factor. 7 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the game. Morton sending Hayes to the right side and Rensel to the left. Garrison to the 45. Garrison to the 50. And a first down at the 48-yard line of the Giants. Garrison picking up 12 yards. And I guess really there's no substitute for experience as he fills in now for Dwayne Thomas and trying to get his job back.
He's running as though he was never injured and running well. The big thing at this point is the Cowboys now have got their composure back. And another thing, too, they're giving their defensive unit, which played almost the entire third quarter, a chance to get a breather on the sidelines.
1st and 10 from the 48 of New York. Calvin Hill to the 46-yard line. Boy, I don't know. You keep thinking he's going to get just busted in two one of these days.
He gets himself in a pretty good position to have that happen to him. Calvin Hill, he just runs reckless. There he goes up in the air. Nyland out in front of it, and he gets hit by Jerry Shea, and then Lockhart gave him a little shot coming up from his safety position.
Call it 2nd and 9 from the New York 46. Garrison far and away the Dallas leading rusher. 8 carries, 51 yards. Flag. Pettis Norman, the tight end, makes the catch at the 30, but we had a penalty marker thrown at the line of scrimmage.
And the preliminary indication was illegal procedure on the part of the Cowboys, and that'll bring that, well, I would say it's kind of a crucial catch by Norman back.
5 yards being marched off against Dallas, moving the ball back into Dallas territory to the 49-yard lines. And there's the indication from the referee, Bob Finley. Illegal motion against the Cowboys.
Second.
It is now 2nd and 14.
As wide open as Pettis Norman was, it wouldn't be a bad play to come back with. He puts him on the same side. Rensel flank to the right. Pettis Norman lined up tight to the right. Hayes to the left.
Good protection for Morton. Jim Files, number 58, had a hand on it. It was intended for Hayes at about the Giant 40.
Cowboys have been doing a pretty good job on Fred Dreyer. You see the switch there. Kanicki going to the outside, Dreyer coming to the inside. It didn't fool anyone. Dave Manders came over from his center position.
Dallas sends in Reggie Rucker, number 88, replacing Pettis Norman. So the Cowboys now have 3 wide receivers in Hayes, in Rensel, and in Rucker for this 3rd and 14 play coming up from the Dallas 49. Hayes and Rensel both to the right side at the bottom of your screen. Good protection again for Morton momentarily, but it broke down as you saw. He took a little bit too much time. It looked like Shea, 75, busted through and made a big play for the Giants, dropping Morton at the 41.
On this Giant defensive unit, there's another player. Jerry Shea was not expected to play, and he just made a very key play for the Giants defense with 5 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. They're going to get the football back. And if there's to be a hero today, along with Bob Hayes, it's this man right here.
Ron Whitby will do the
punter. He's been kicking great. He's had a lot of practice.
Fine kick by Whitby. Duhan at the 15 to the 20, 25, and caught by Mark Washington at the 26-yard line. With the score, Dallas 20, New York 16. Let's pause for a moment. And Tarkenton. McNeil at the 45 to the 50. Charlie Waters out of bounds at the 41 of Dallas.
And Clifton McNeil was wide open. Herb Adderley passing him on in some kind of a zone formation. Somebody didn't pick him up. We'd have to speculate it was Charlie Waters, who is in hot pursuit here. So in one play, the Giants have moved back into Dallas territory. Clifton McNeil, one of those trades that we were talking about earlier 2 years ago. He led the National Football League in receptions with 73.
That play covered 32 yards, and the Giants have a first down at the Dallas 41. Ron Johnson to the 39. Howley, number 54, making the stop. Johnson with 132 yards, rushing in 23 carries. That's still not his high for the year. He had that big game against Philadelphia. I believe he had 142.
142. We mentioned that a moment ago as we looked at Alex Webster, who has eaten a carton of Tums and gone through a pack of cigarettes today, I believe. He takes it serious.
Second and 8 for McNeil. Well, Tarkenton let that one go with a prayer on it, I think.
Mel Renfro was right with McNeil. That would have had to have been an absolutely perfectly thrown football for Renfro not to break it up. There's Francis chomping on his gum. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remain. The Giants with their 3 timeouts, and the Cowboys with their 3 timeouts remaining.
Tough spot for the Giants here. They have a 3rd and 8 coming up from the Dallas 39. They trail by 4 points, 20-16.
It's tough because it allows the Dallas front 4 to disregard run and just come on in. They're hard to keep out when they let it go.
Tarkenton to Johnson, to the 25, to the 20. To the 16-yard line. First down, New York.
Tarkenton, staying with the pass, couldn't find an open receiver and couldn't find any room to scramble. In fact, he couldn't even locate any room to safely fall down. Third down on the Dallas 13. And Tarkenton's pass to Johnson barely made it past Mel Renfro's dive. The Giants had taken the lead with 3 minutes left in the game. New York 23, Dallas 20. Then began the final exciting sequence that decided the game. New York stopped the first 2 plays. And on the third down, Morton fired complete to Rensel on the New York 45. A repeat of this crucial play shows that Rensel almost dropped the pass that gave Dallas the first down they desperately needed. Less than 2 minutes to play now, and Morton hit Hill in the flat, but the Giant linebackers and secondary provided no escape. Morton was faced with another third down situation and went to Hayes, who made a great catch. A repeat shows Hayes made the catch with Willie Williams all over him. The Cowboys were at the Giant 43. Then came the key play of the game for Dallas. Morton hit Reggie Rucker, who had been activated only the day before, and he took the pass to the Giant 10-yard line. But Rucker had been illegitimately in motion, and the ball was brought back to the 48-yard line. 37 seconds left to go, and Dallas had to move into field goal range to tie. They had been further penalized by a holding penalty, but they got back into New York territory with a flat pass to Reeves. "16 seconds left to go. Still time for 2 passes and the field goal attempt for the tie. Morton, rolling out, went for Reeves again, but the pass was high off his fingertips. Dallas was still too far away to try to kick. 10 seconds remaining. The Cowboys would have to make it on this one last play. Morton had time to throw and passed to Rensel deep over the middle, but he dropped it to end the Cowboys' hopes once and for all. A repeat of this vital play shows that Morton's throw was right on target. Rensel simply blew it, as the Giants' 23-20 winners went wild. Tarkenton fell on the ball for the last play of the game, and New York had their 5th straight win and one of their most significant victories in many a year. They are now tied with the Cowboys for 2nd place in the NFC's Eastern Division and are 1 game behind the Cardinals, a team they have already beaten. It's been almost a decade that so much roaring enthusiasm has been seen in Yankee Stadium, but it is deserved. For New York's hopes for finishing first, which were so invisible after they lost their first 3 games of the season, are now very real. Today, New Yorkers are dreaming bolder dreams. Dreams of a championship. The NFL Game of the Week has been brought to you by Dodge, extra care in engineering.